The thing is, there is always something you can do for you. That's what I'm trying to tell people. There is always something you can do for you to improve your life in every area. So
I believe that in life we are here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must start with investing in ourselves. I believe in you, and this channel is going to give you tools to help you overcome your challenges and light your path. Let's start.
with the momentum, we are able to create consistency, and with the consistency, we are able to create the life that you want. Hello, yeah.
Hey, Milko. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon to you too. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Great to see you again. I love what you spoke about, about also losing fat and also the exercise. That's some great content.
Thank you for that. I'm trying to find a way to communicate better all my knowledge so people can relate to it, and it can actually help someone and not just stay in my head and not really do anything. And I see that you're doing quite good with we're doing quite a lot of content as well. It's very good. That's impressive. And I think you are not doing much before, right?
I wasn't doing any before, but I'm I'm with the same thing like you. We want to serve, and if we could get that knowledge to other people, I can tell you personally that's the only thing that got me into that momentum of starting making videos. Is looking at the goal, see what's the goal in front of me, why am I doing this, and then just start with the first one. You know how I am with technology. It's out of my comfort zone, and it's not something that I do on a day to day. But if it can help other people, like you said, so it's more than my pleasure.
That's good. And I think what you need to. I will give you a bit of advice here. I think you should remove this and stop using this self-talk that you're saying I'm not good with technology and stuff like that. You know how to use your phone. It's not that you're not good at it, and it's not if you, because that's how I from what I've seen for myself and for others. Once you put and you say I'm not good with that and I can't do that, then you close your mind and you can't really do anything with it, because it's just, even if the answer is just in front of you, you will not be able to see it. And when you say, I may not be good with it, but I'll learn how to do it. It's not too complicated. At the end, everything in life, it's simple. It doesn't require a crazy amount of effort unless you're doing something very, very specific that needs to be very detailed and some crazy stuff. Then then it will take you just longer time. But everything is teachable, everything is learnable. So you should not use these limiting words, I would say.
First, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're 100% right. I just personally could disagree on that. I believe that there's a really the words that we say they're really powerful, as you said, and they could basically create limiting beliefs and stop us from doing what we want to do. So what I believe, and that's how I try to work. And again, I totally agree with you, and I totally appreciate that feedback 100%. But what I do, so I write I told myself what I'm not good at, and I'm not good in technology. And the same time, I also, like in my monthly goals, so I wrote down, like, my goal this month, doesn't matter what, I'm learning how to, let's say, turn an IG Live into a YouTube, for an example. So I think maybe it's kind of a David Goggins approach, but that we should say the words, but not from a place that I totally agree with you of we can't improve, that's what it is. From a place that knowing, being aware of what it is, and again, being careful with those words, exactly like you said, because those words, now I'm saying it and I wrote it down that I want to, and that I'll crush it and all that, but sometimes I say those words that are turning into limiting beliefs. So saying them, being aware of what I'm not good at, but then being aware, exactly like you said, that I could be good and I could learn those steps and I could get into those action steps that would create that momentum, that would create that knowledge, that would create that product. So appreciate that, and you're right, 100%.
I agree with you completely, and I don't. It's. I'm not saying that you need to lie to yourself and say, "Oh, I'm awesome with technologies," and you have no idea what you're doing. But you shouldn't, because that's a very very strong thing to say. I'm not good, and you're based on what you're not good. If you give someone from a tribe phone, they will never know what to do. Like they've never, someone that have never seen that. So compared to them, you're amazing with technology. So it's not like, I think it's perspective more. And it's not like, because it's not true that you're not good. You know how to use it. You know how to do more things than most of the people. And then the other thing is, I agree completely with you that I believe that we shouldn't use such words that tell you that's like a fact, because it's not really a fact. And in the same time, you can say, look, I'm not good with technology yet, or I'm not good with technology because I haven't done the work with it. And that opens your mind and tells you the reality. It's not like I'm not good with technology, or I'm not good with technology. I'm not bad with technology, but I can be much better, and things like that. Simple changes in the words. And in English, it's interesting because it's called spelling. It's like with the words when it's spelling the word. And if you think about it, it comes from the word spell. So you're kind of like spelling yourself, So the words that you use are very powerful. I can guarantee you, like I've seen many people, like just by changing the words that they use, and they change completely their life. Because when you say, let's say you with the example, but if you say I'm stupid, or I have it with my wellness experience, kind of. People say I've always been fat. I'm fat. I'm just always been fat, and I'm big boned. And for me also, I used to believe that I'm big boned, and I'm still big boned, but I'm not fat, So just because you have big bones, but it limits you so much that you just don't accept the possibility of improving it or achieving it. And as you said, things are, but I like that, the approach is good you need to have self-awareness. I'm not saying here to lie to yourself and to tell yourself, oh, I'm amazing in technology, I'm the best in the world. And that's again, like unrealistic expectation, and you're limiting yourself again, because you believe that you're more than you are, better than you are. So that limits you from improving and learning new things. So it's a thin line, but you should not use words that are like a fact, because nothing is a fact. Even science is not a fact, because there's so much more to it that we haven't explored. That there is no facts actually, if you think about it. But that's another question. I went a bit too far.
No, you were great, Milko, and actually, I think you said a magic word. And that word is yet. So I used to be in a place that I used not to say the yet, and not, like you said, like the negative belief of a technology that I don't like it and I'm bad at it. And these days I put for me a goal that whatever I decide I'll do, and I'll crush it through the wall. Exactly. But what I love that you said is that, like you said, to be aware, to say that sentence, to put it in front of your eyes, but then put like a comma and say yet. So I'm not good at something, and then comma, yet I'm big boned, and I didn't lose enough weight yet. Like, then it's opening your subconscious to a place, that yet word of, okay, I'm going to achieve it. And I want to follow up with you on that question, on that subject of the second of the subject of the limiting belief, and how we start, working through it. and building type of momentum. I know you work a lot, in the health area and wellness, and you help a lot of people over there. So a limiting belief when it comes to getting in shape and losing weight, I think that's one of the biggest limiting beliefs people have. I wasn't born the right way. I wasn't born the right date. I'm big bone. I don't have the money to buy the organic. There's so many limiting beliefs and words, like you said, powerful words that stop people from losing weight or from getting into shape. So I want to know from your experience, first, what are those words that they should use? We spoke about them a little bit now, but what are those words that they should use in order to help them to create that momentum? Because I believe before creating that momentum, you need to, like you said, be in the right mindset, use the right words. So number one, what are those words they need to use? And number two is, what are the action steps that they need to take in order to create that momentum to keep on moving?
That's a very good question, and thank you for asking. So, what the whole idea of what I'm doing is, to me personally, how I see it, is to not only with the wellness, but there it's very easy to see results. So it's the idea is to show people that there is much more to them and to their life than they expect, and that they can even imagine, because most people think that first they're very limited in what they can do, and second, their environment very often puts them in a state that shows them that that's all you have. Because if you're surrounded, if, like, for example, me, most of my let's say childhood friends, like almost no one have achieved something in their life, anything, and I don't know anyone that have achieved the things that I want to achieve. So that puts me in a state that I think that that's not possible. It's not possible to actually achieve something great because I haven't seen anyone achieving it. And that's with absolutely everything. The second limiting belief is that and that comes with a lot of advertising and everything, like in general for our health, we believe that we don't have control. We believe that, as you said, all kind of limiting beliefs, all kind of words that we use. That's the strongest thing, is that we believe that we don't have control, and that our actions and habits and things like that don't really matter. And that's, of course, I'm not neglecting at all that some people have amazing genes and genetics, and some people are born in the perfect place where they're exposed to all kind of stuff. They have an amazing, job and things like that. So I'm not neglecting that, but that's not enough to stop you not living your life just because someone have been born with more privileges. Most of the time, these privileges actually puts them down, and etc. But I'm not going to go now into details about that. But the thing is, there is always something you can do for you. That's what I'm trying to tell people. There is always something you can do for you to improve your life in every area. So, and your health, for example. So just simple things are because we think that our genetics play a very big role, but actually our genetics play less than 20%, have influenced less than 20% of what happens to us. All the other things are habits and environment. And we think that, for example, if our parents are fat and we are fat, we think that it's because of our genetics, but it's not our genetics. It's because of our habits, because we get the same habits as our parents. If our parents are super fit, it's very likely, of course, there is genetics, but it's very likely that we will be very fit as well, because we get their habits, we copy their lifestyle, and most of the times we multiply it. So if your parents are fat, it's very likely that you'll be fatter. Like, that's not always the case, but if you're not aware, if your parents are very fit, it's more likely that you'll be fitter than them. And there is actually, it's funny, I was thinking the other day about a very good example of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I guess most people know him. He have two sons with the same wife, but they are separated, and one of the sons live with him, the other one live with the mom, and they're same genes from same people, same everything, and one is extremely morbidly obese, like dangerously, and the other one is extremely fit, like super fit, like not as much as Arnold, but almost. The one that lives with Arnold, and the one that is extreme, like morbidly obese and like dangerously, he lives with the mom. So that shows you same genetics, how much different the lifestyle can make. Like, that's the main thing I'm trying to. And because we are conditioned, we don't have control our like weight, and we're not talking about weight only here, like our fitness, but our health. We think that whatever we go to the doctor and whatever the doctors tell us and give us, that's what we get, and that's the only thing that we can do. But there are so many things. I don't neglect the doctors at all. They save lives all the time, but there are so many things we can do before that for us to actually prevent going and needing this intervention that the doctors will give us. So I went a bit sideways. Yes?
No, I'm just trying to understand before you start talking about those steps, and I apologize for the noise in the background, but before taking those steps, so you're saying our focus should be on prevention. That way we don't need to get to that cure part. Like, if there's a time that we need the doctors, like you said, we'll use them, but let's try to focus on prevention before. So if I understood you correctly. So what are those steps? Because a lot of times, like the start to get into that momentum of starting to do something, that's the most difficult thing for a lot of people. You know, starting the car. What are those steps that you recommend people? You see a lot of people. So what are those steps that you recommend people that have all of the excuses from themselves why not? So what do you recommend them to do? Like simple steps that they could take action on, because we don't want people only to listen. We want them also to implement and take action.
So and yes, that's what I mean. People needs to. We have the power to do everything before we go to the doctor, and then they decide what to do. Because I've like there's so many great doctors, amazing, that save life all the time. But there are many that are incompetent, and there are many that they really want to help, but they just don't have the time and to learn more, so they can actually know what will be best for you, and so they can help you, but you still give your life in the power of someone else. It doesn't matter if it's a doctor, can be a healer, can be any kind of things like that. The thing is, you have the power to do everything that you can, everything that depends on you, and then if that's not enough, then you can search for like the help of someone like professional and stuff like that. Because me personally, why I believe that is because I've suffered many times incompetent doctors, like at least 5-6 times in situations that can cause me severe damage and can cause me to not be able to recover for months, and sometimes like it's years and stuff like that. So that made me want to take control over my health and fitness, and then that made me want to do it for other people as well and stuff like that. So let's go back to the steps. So for the steps,
you did it. So come on, let's hear. You just now said that you did. You had those crazy cases with the doctors, and then you took control. I love it. I'm really curious.
Thank you. That was my biggest push, because I seen not only with me, I seen many people around me also, and again, it was just like I don't know if it's unlucky or lucky, because I was unlucky to go to this doctor, but in the same times, thanks to them, it forced me to learn how to take control over my health. So now I can do what I do, and I can really give results. So that's that's why I believe that we need to do the most. And the more I went into it, the more I realized how much more control we have actually over our health. And so the first thing that they need to do, let's go to the steps, let's say, it really depends, of course, of the person and what are they willing to do, what are they capable of doing, and etc., etc. But let's say if you, because for some people it's great to go full on, like to give them the hardest things possible, like for a short time, so they can build this and they will stick with it because they kind of don't have other choice. For other people, we need to do gradual steps, and I'll give you the gradual steps because for most people, if you work, even if it doesn't matter which type of people or person they are. So first thing they need to understand is that it's much easier to take care of your health than it is not to take care of your health, because most people we think that we need to do some crazy effort and crazy hours to spend and money and things like that for us to be healthy. But that's not the case at all. So it's very far from the truth. It's actually, it gives you back much more. And we're not talking about energy and like how you feel and mood and stuff like that. Just if you think about it financially or time-wise, you have you're much more productive, you have much more energy, better moods, and stuff like that. And then you save money because you don't pay for doctors, you're not miserable, you're more productive, and all kind of stuff like that. So in any case, taking care of your health, it's much easier than not doing it. So that's one of the main things people need to understand, because most people think it's very hard and they don't have control. So one of the first steps they need to do is drink more water. Like that's one thing I seen. I'm so shocked. Like recently, I met a few people, like in a different places, different location, clients and stuff, that they don't drink any water. So they drink some juices, some soft drinks and stuff, but they don't drink any water, and that's terrible. That's everything in your body gets stuck. Your mind gets stuck as well. You need around 2 liters of water just every 24 hours, just for your brain to function properly. For most people, like for adult, most of the time, around 1.5 to 2 liters of water that needs to be renewed every 24 hours just for your brain to function properly. You know, it's like, yeah. And when you don't drink water, all this, your brain slows down. All the waste gets stuck in your body, everything gets clogged, and so on and so forth. So water is extremely important, and for whoever is wondering how much water they should drink, they need to drink 50 milliliters per kilogram per day. That's the recommended amount. So the minimum is 30, but I'll tell you, if you want to be healthy, 50 milliliters, and I'm talking about pure water. Better to avoid all kind of juices, all kind of soft drinks and stuff like that, because they actually dehydrate you, most of them, unless it's a freshly squeezed juice. That's a bit different. So 50 minutes. So if you're 50 kilograms, you need at least 2.5 liters of water per day. If you're 60 kilograms, 3 liters. 70 kilograms, 3.5 liters. 80 kilograms, and so etc. etc. And if you're 100 kilograms, try to drink at least 5 liters of water. And it sounds like a lot, but that's what we need. And it's not because it's because the lifestyle we have. We are more exposed to pollution. The food that we eat is more full of things that needs to be thrown away. It's not very rich in water most of the times, and stuff like that. So that's one of the. I have clients that just by increasing the amount of water they drink, they lost like 5 kilos for a week or something like that. So it's crazy how important is water. So first thing is always the water. The more water they drink, the better. And I'm talking about pure water, or let's say plain tea. But tea also can be, depends of the tea. So I'll give you, let's say, 3 steps. So we don't go too crazy here. People will be like extremely overwhelmed and what to do. So the second thing I'll say is, if you want to build an exercise routine, it's that you need to start by doing anything. It can be absolutely first, if you really hate moving, if you really are not enjoying any kind of movement and it's very hard for you to build habit and anything like that, just start with 2 minutes per day. Just 2 minutes. No matter what you do, 2 minutes some exercise, whatever it is, but 2 minutes you do some exercise, but needs to be every single day. This way you build a habit, and with the time, if you feel like it, you can increase. But your mind is helping you build this momentum, because that's what we're talking about, momentum. Because if you build momentum, is consistency. Momentum what will give you results. Because when it comes to everything in life, it's consistency that makes the difference. It's not one time. You can't just go in the gym and work out 24 hours and expect to be fit for the rest of your life. Or
I have to stop you there. You just reminded me something.
yes.
Wow, you just gave me like a flashback. So before I forget that, and you could drink some water. We just spoke about the importance of water. I love what you said about building that momentum and that consistency. And it's not like a short-term, short-term advice that you do once and then you're fit. I had a friend, still a friend, but I have a friend that he said, okay, I'm going to get into shape. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be fit. And I told him, listen, my dear friend, step by step, like you hardly did any exercise in the past. He was like, no, I don't care. I'm going all in. I'm going to go through. Listen, if you do that, at least try to do some stretches in between, at least that. And he did, like, I think not one time, I'll give him the privilege of saying that he did like 2 months, everyday training. That was 10 years ago. Do you know how fit he is today? He's not fit at all. After 2 months, he was broken. He also caused injuries for himself, like crazy injuries, because he was never exercising before. And then, he was like, I have injuries, I have pain, and maybe it's not for me, maybe I should stop. And that was like 10 years ago. Since then, Milko, he didn't go back to it, and too bad. Like, he gained a lot of weight. So I really connected to what you're saying, to what you said, that those small steps, creating that momentum, building it step by step. It's not a one-time visit to the gym, moving with the music in the gym, and no, you can move with the music. I'm all for that. But after that, it's step by step. So I appreciate that for sharing that. That's so important for people. It's not a short trip like of trying for 1 week and then leaving. It's like a diet. You don't do a diet. You build a new routine of eating. It's not a short 3 months program. That's a new way of life. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And it goes both ways, because it's not only about consistency. It is about consistency, not only about consistency of doing something, but also when you don't do something, it's not the end of the world. That's the other thing I'm trying to explain my clients, that when you screw up once or you miss one workout, it's not the end of the world, because it doesn't matter what you do once, it's what you do on a consistent basis. So like for me, it happened a few times. So I go to some restaurant and I have a pizza or giant burger or something like that, and people are like, oh, you're pretending to be super healthy and stuff like that. And first, I never pretend to be super healthy and stuff like that, which I am taking quite a lot of care of my health. And the second is, this thing is once in a while, it's like I'm 95% of the time my food is good, and it's not perfect, because I'm not aiming for perfection, because perfection can just cause you to be overwhelmed and too much, and then you stop doing it. And I like saying that if you can't do something for life, then don't do it. But that's a thing. So I'm trying, and I'm like that. But they judge by this one simple thing. And of course, I'm trying also, even when I eat burgers and pizzas and stuff like that, I'm trying to be the healthiest version if I can make it myself, even better, or the healthiest version I can find. But even if it's not, it's one single time. Let's say once per week. For the whole week, I clean, and but I don't care of course, I don't care what they think, because for me, it's not an issue, and I don't beat myself up that I had, and I can even go a whole weekend, I can go a whole weekend, which usually I wouldn't do, but I can go a whole weekend, like smashing myself with all kind of food, like and desserts and chips and whatever. But then I know, and I'm not going to beat myself up, because I know that the next, if I do something like that, next 2 weeks, I'm not going to do anything like that, or at least the next 5-6 days I will be, or I can even do something more invasive, that, some cleaning and stuff like that. So it's what I do on a daily basis. Same with exercise. Like, I can skip a workout today, and I'm not going to be bothered by it, because tomorrow is a new day. I keep going, and I do, most of the times, I do my workout. So if I skip once, it's not an issue. Of course, then you have the opposite side, where people are like, oh, it's not an issue, I skip today, I will skip tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Don't lie to yourself as we start with this. You don't need to lie to yourself and just faking it that you're doing something. You need to be honest with yourself, but not beat yourself up for something that haven't happened. So consistency is what gives us the results, and what I'll give you a very simple example with food. You can't eat once 20 meals and expect to not be hungry for the next 20 days. It doesn't work that way. It's with everything. It's what consistency that gives you a result. If you eat once per month, you will not last forever. Even if you
probably won't last.
Yeah. So you eat every day, but then yes.
No, I'm just trying to understand. You're saying you eat or you do the exercise every day, but if there was a day that you had certain food that you enjoy, and whatever, a burger or pizza, or a day that you didn't do your exercise, it's all fine. Like, there's no beating yourself up makes it a lot worse than the actual action or misaction. Like, if I understand you correctly. By the way, also for all the healthy people out there, when you beat yourself up for that piece of pizza that you had, and for weeks you're like regretting that, and kind of criticizing yourself, that criticism does a lot more damage than the piece of pizza. So that's I'm just putting that aside for a second. So
absolutely,
for sure. What's you spoke about the first step about the drinking water, and again also that people didn't drink before, slowly, otherwise they won't do it. And the same thing with exercise. And again, if we forget, it's all good. There's always the next day tomorrow, we hope. And then what's the step number 3?
So just to say, so the idea of because when you beat yourself, what you said is good, because when you beat yourself, it's more likely for you to not continue doing it the next day. Because beating yourself means that it's too hard, I can't do it, because every time I fuck it up, it's so bad. And that leads to frustration and stops your consistency. So what I have, what I like to share with my clients is, no matter how much you screwed up, go back to it right away. Like, as soon as you can, go back to it right away, as soon as possible. Because bad habits are easy to build, and good habits are hard to build. So it's very easy to go, because if you skip 2-3 times in a row, then you create this bad habit of not doing it. And then this one is easier to stick than, but if you stop it right away and not wait until Monday or next month, then you keep building this momentum and creating this habit that will help you just continue doing whatever. So back to the steps. exercise 2 minutes per day, no matter what it is. If the best I suggest to everyone is to go and just do some activity that they enjoy until they build up the fitness level and the desire to actually do more. Because when you feel sluggish, when everything is heavy, it's harder to be motivated to do stuff. Sure. And this is why health affects significantly your life. And another thing, what you said for the water, for example, if you can't, that's the recommended amount. But if you don't drink any water, you can just start drinking 5 liters today, But yeah, even if you do 1 liter today, it's still so much better than not doing anything. And then maybe you do a week in 1 liter, then you increase. You'll do 1.5 liters next week or something like that. Keep increasing, keep working, building yourself up until you reach this level of actually achieving this result. It's not like as your friend. You go in the gym and you destroy yourself, you do everything you can, and then you're in so much pain that you don't want to go back again. It's consistently, most of the time is step by step, always if I skip, for example, for one reason or another, I skip a week or 2 of doing workouts, then I take at least a week to build it up to my normal routine. I don't go crazy like I usually do. And some people stop for months and months, and then you go back and you expect that everything will be the same, and then you get injured, and then you stop for even more months and stuff like that. So the third thing that everyone should do, I believe, is focus on basic, simple foods. We think that we need some crazy mixes of ancient foods from the mother of the 3,000 years old, whatever. We don't need anything like that to be healthy. We need simple, basic foods, and the least processed, the better. What do I mean by that? I don't mean by processing cooking. Of course, frying is not the best, but cooking, if you cook something, that's okay. But before you cook it, what kind of process have it been through? Because we buy all this healthy food and natural and all kind of bullshit like that, and that's complete nonsense. Most of the healthy food are not healthy at all. Natural, there is nothing natural in them. Natural, there is no obligation legal, so everyone can put natural on every kind of food. So that doesn't mean anything. So the simple basic foods, I would suggest beans, legumes, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and whole grains. That's it. 7 foods, 7 types of foods. It's not 7 foods. Don't think that and people start thinking, oh, it's so limiting. I have only 7. No, it's like you can do million combination with them, and you can do absolutely everything with them, and you can do everything. Every food, every junk food can be made in a healthy way. So if you research enough and you actually believe that it's possible, because if you think that it's not possible something to be made, I've eaten some very healthy burgers that taste like one of the best ever burgers that I've eaten, for example. And pizza also, pizza is elementary. Burger is a bit harder to make, but pizza is elementary. You just grab a healthy recipe for the dough, you do the dough, and you pour some veggies and tomato sauce and some salt or whatever, and there you go, you have a healthy pizza. And it tastes amazing.
Amazing. I think you said that, all those healthy foods are not healthy at all. Actually, I think that they're really healthy for the owner of the business, because he sells a lot and he makes a lot of money. So, but you're totally right. I love how you made everything simple. Because so many times people, they get stuck in their head, and I can't drink a lot of water because it's not good for me, because whatever reason it is, I'll go to the bathroom at night. So what? So start drinking early and stop early. Just drink water, like you said, make it simple. exercise. Start with 2 minutes. You don't have to go for 3 hours in the gym. Put those exercise clothes next to your bed if you do it in the morning. If you do it in the evening, when you come back from home, put it at the entrance of your house. Like you're making it simple. It could be something, like you said, 2 minutes just to get your body into that, momentum, into that state of consistency in doing it. And then with the food, there's so many different experts out there. And I love it how you really made it simple. Have those things. And by the way, you might be allergic to some of them. That's fine. There's so many different options in what you said that a person could create for himself. And he could also feel, I did an interview with Amy, also part of the Movement Makers. She's a healer. And we were talking also a little bit about things that have to do with this. And Amy said that, when you have certain foods, you could just feel your body. How does your body respond to it? So I love like what she said and what you said over here together. It makes things really simple that there's no reason. I won't say anyone, but 95% of the population could probably go and do that. And I think it's amazing. And regarding the money issue, I just want to address what you said at the beginning. A lot of times people will say that it costs money, time, whatever. You said at the beginning a really important thing. Not doing it would cost you a lot more, whether it's in time going to the hospitals and doctors, whether it's in the money that you'll pay afterwards for all these different medicines, and if it gets even worse, so medical procedures that you need to do. But forget about time and money. Let's live right now, feel better now, not wait too much. So I think those steps could be really helpful for any person. Just to start, get that momentum, even small steps, not even. Start with small steps. Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I agree what you said. And I like about feeling the food, like how it reacts to your body. There is a small thing there that creates a big problem in that, because most people believe, my body feels like eating chocolate, so I need to eat chocolate, for example. And I love chocolate. I have nothing against it. But the thing is, so just to tell you, I used to eat, my diet, if you can call it a diet, was pretty much when I was until maybe my 20s or something like that. I was eating chocolate, ketchup, mayonnaise, bread, and what else? That's it, I think. That covers. The only vegetable I was eating that is not really a vegetable was tomato. That is a fruit. So to tell you why because people will say, the kids, when you're younger, you know what you feel. But the thing is, because we're used to such strong taste, like the chocolates and all kind of additives like chips and they add so many things in the foods nowadays to make the taste super strong, that our body can't recognize the normal taste of food. And I'll give you an example with money. For example, if you now I'm not going to go with this example, but when your body is stuck and your body is used to these strong tastes, it's very hard for you to actually recognize the small and the simple tastes. So you need to clean your body in some way, and usually it happens when you start eating healthier and your body cleans itself, and then you start to appreciate more the food that you have. Because if you just count on what you feel like, your body is so confused and you've been conditioning it so long that it doesn't really know what it needs. Like, I can tell you for myself, it took me a few years until I reached a point like now that I can really feel how something influenced me. Like almost 99% of the time, I can feel what a food does to me and if it's good for me or not. But it took me years because all my life I was eating, just to have an idea, I was eating 5 kilograms of chocolate spread per week, every week.
That's
For
more
like,
than me, Milko. That's impressive.
that's like so much chocolate. I fit in it with everything. But the idea is that with this chocolate, the taste is so strong that for me, all the vegetables were tasting terrible. You know, I never liked vegetables. I like only some fruits that are very strong taste. But usually, I was not eating, and I was eating ketchup and mayonnaise because they had very strong taste as well. For everything else, no matter what is it, for me it doesn't taste nice. You know, I didn't feel the taste much, so I needed to add lots of things, and most of the foods are like that, and it took
Yeah.
me years. Like, the good thing is that there are simple things you can do to easily clean your body and then be able to actually feel it. I have so many clients that hate vegetables, and when they clean their body and they just crave like even a broccoli, you know, I had so many people telling me, oh, I just want to eat some broccoli, you know, and it's super shocking because before that, for example, they never liked vegetables or something like that, you know. So when your body is stuck, it's very hard for you to recognize what it needs, and this is why most people also don't know how much there is to them and how much good health influence their life, because they're used to being in this state. And now I'll give you the example from earlier that I wanted to give. Imagine that you're getting, let's say, $1,000 salary, so per month, let's say, and you learn how to live with it, so it's okay. You know, you get used to it. It's not the best, but you're used to it, and you're used to this, and you don't know what's more. But then at some point they increase your salary and you start getting like $3,000 per month, and it's like now you get used to this and you start accepting this, you know, buying a bit more stuff, getting a bit more comfortable. And then if you go back to the $1,000 per month, it will feel like it's not enough, you know, because you have different comparison to do. And then $1,000 will not be enough for you. And the same is with health. We are so used to staying in the 1,000 that we don't know what is it when you reach the 3,000. And that's where the momentum and motivation and consistency comes. Because once you reach the 3,000 and it doesn't take you a crazy amount of effort and energy, because most people go back because they think that they need to spend too much time and energy, and they do, and the results are not great. And this is why they go back to the 1,000, because it's easier. But if you know the simple steps you can do and you reach the 3,000, then it's very hard for you to go back. It's very hard because you know what's possible, and you need to, like, it's much harder to go back to it. It's not impossible. You can go back for a bit, but then you always aim to go higher and to reach this state. So that's the biggest motivation that the best way to that I motivate my clients is by giving them results without crazy effort. And once they get their result and they see that it's possible, then most of them, like, it's very rare that someone really doesn't sustain their results, but usually it happens for some like very specific reasons. But
yeah, they probably don't want to go back. Like you said, they don't want to go back and live at that $1,000 level. Because when they got up here, now they feel how bad it is to be down here. When they were only down here, they didn't know what it is to be up here. But now that you brought them to this stage, which I salute you for that, now for them to go back down, now they're a lot more aware of how bad it is to be down here. And then I think they'll feel, only when you bring them up to this stage, only then they'll feel if the food is good for them, because they know what it is to feel good for food. And they'll be aware what does for them good and what not. So amazing. I love that. That's great. And I like how you make it simple and things that every person could do. And if you're listening right now and you're in better shape and you're already in the nutrition, so it also, exact same thing also for you. You know, you always try to get better. So just a little bit more. And I love it, how you make it simple and how you make it basically for everyone. Everyone can do it. No excuses. I think it's great. I love those simple tools. It's amazing. I appreciate for sharing that.
And you're welcome. I'm happy if someone really benefits from it. And the other thing is that you don't need to do some crazy things. I still stick with these things. Like, of course, my exercise routine is different, but I don't spend 2 hours. I spend maximum an hour per day for my workouts, and that's rarely. Usually, it's around half an hour to 30 minutes, but it's intense workout, and you don't need that much for you to be fit and healthy. Of course, I sit on the computer for 12, 14, 16 hours per day, sometimes. And if I don't work out every day, then I just deter. Of course, I do some stretches and stuff, but I need it. I need it, and it brings me back to life, if you can call it that way.
Sure.
But I mean, it's simple, drink water, eat simple foods, and move. That's the keys to being here. You don't need anything complicated. You don't need crazy foods. You don't need the healthy extra whatever. You don't need crazy supplements and all kind of stuff like that. You need simple steps, simple exercises, and you'll be able to and simple water, and you'll be able to be very healthy. And it will not take you time, and you have, like I'm telling you, I have energy, so much energy that I've ever had in my life, and I can work 16 hours per day every single day without really being bothered at all. It's and it's like high energy. I have energy all the time. Even if I do physical work, I still have this energy all the time. Of course, in the morning is the most, but it doesn't reduce much throughout the day. Before, when I was eating, I was still working out, but I was eating all kind of stuff, and it's still not too bad. After the chocolate, of course. Once I reached like lunchtime, I was like a jelly. The whole afternoon I was jelly, and I just want to finish the day and go to sleep so I can start the next day. And it's a huge difference for me, and for most people it's even stronger because I was still taking some care of my health at that time.
Got it. Wow. Amazing. Love it. Milko, it was an honor, a pleasure again talking to you, and your advice is great. If people will implement it, again, you need to implement. Only listening to this won't be enough, and won't be enough at all. So the implementation of what you said could for sure bring changes into people's life. And like you said before, each person does whatever is right for him, and in that category, find the right place for him. I think could bring great results as long as people consist and do it again and again. And also, again, when it doesn't work, continue and get into that momentum of just remembering why you're doing what you're doing, and just the process. The process brings amazing things that we never even expected. So appreciate you for that. Thank you very much.
And thank you for. I was talking too much today. I didn't give you the word much.
That's amazing.
I think it's just we need to focus on the simplicity and be consistent, take action, and this is how we can create momentum in our life, in every area of life. If it's something complicated, it means that you're overcomplicating it. Just make it simple, take the steps, and be consistent, and you'll get the results in absolutely everything. There is nothing that you can, even with the bad stuff, you still need to be consistent to actually get results, even though the results will be bad. But for everything, you need consistency and action and simplicity.
Love it. Great. So I'll take now what I need to do. I have my task that I need to break it into small steps and make it simple in the technology. So I'll do it over there. And I wish everyone else, whatever it is in their life that they need to do. So just, break it into small steps, make it simple, and then just remember why you're doing it. And continue again and again. Small steps, you create that momentum. Small steps get you all the way up the mountain. So amazing. Appreciate it.
And what are you going to do about your fitness and wellness? I know you want to improve it.
Oh yeah, I'm trying now to reduce. I do every day. I do 6 times a week. And I'm actually from the people, I started from zero. I didn't do any, I wasn't able to move more than 200 meters or more than 2 push-ups. Today I'm in a whole different place, and in a really good place, but actually I'm trying to get more into zone 2 exercise in order for the body not to destroy itself. So to do also exercise that is more relaxing for the body. So today I went running in the mountains, and I was really eager to start sprinting in the mountains. And I did sprinting the day before, and then I told myself, nope, let their body recover. Just, slow, relaxed running. Zone 2. Zone 2 is like in the middle. Zone 2 is basically the zone that you could talk on the phone if you want at the same time. That's just to make it simple. So that's what I'm doing with my exercise. And I'm all in for sweets. I love chocolate. And exactly like you said, I don't believe in taking it off the chart, but I don't have it so when I have it, I have good quality. I have a lot, but I don't have it that often. So I'm also working on that, and having those times. And again, when I have it, I enjoy it. I don't start saying, "Oh my God, why did I have that chocolate?" No, great chocolate. It was fine. But most of the time, like you said, I build like the nutrition that you said. I have similar nutrition, and also in terms of the exercise, I'm just trying to be a little bit more, listen more to my body, not to get back to my old injuries.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's like because one injury can just kill your progress, and it's very good what you're doing. It's good to listen to your body. I learned by having many injuries. I learned that I need to listen to my body. But you can just separate it. Like you can do 3 days, and then alternate these 3 days. So first day can be something that you like pull. Like something that you pull in front of you, from the ground and above you, like pull-ups, deadlifts, and rows. That's like I'm giving you some gym exercises, but you can do it outside, like whatever. Then you have one day that you push, so you again push forward, push up, push down, and then one day for the legs that you do squats and some lunges and stuff like that. And this way you will be able to. Because compound exercises, again, simplicity, simple compound exercises are what give the best results. And if you focus on the simplicity, simple compound exercises, then you can get much better results. That's the 20% that give you 80% result. So that's what I do. I only do compound exercise. I rarely do some like if I go to the gym, I do some machines or some specific exercises, and that's usually when I work to improve like the strength on one side because for reasons like injuries, for example, and I need to improve, even out the strength. Then I can do something extra, but that's after I finish all the other exercises that I do. So if you focus on compound exercise, running is great. Like I went to run yesterday. I did light, not too long, but it was a light run. Tomorrow I'll do like sprints and squats and lunges and stuff like that. So and maybe Saturday, depending on how. But I give myself rest, and I still am consistent. But in the days that I have a few days that I do intense one for a specific area, and then the next days if I do some exercise that engage the same muscles, I do it lighter ones.
Nice. I like it. That way you also give your body a rest, and you also basically you're giving like a variety to your body, because if it's always used to the same thing, you won't do too much. So when you do that twist every time and also give the rest in between, I think that's a great way for your body to also adjust every time and get stronger, and also recover every time from the rest, because working out really hard without recovery, both of us know, brings injuries and doesn't get you to the best place. So recovery is a must, and different areas of the bodies. I love it how you basically separate each one. That's great.
And this is why you need the nutrition as well, because good nutrition helps you recover, water helps you recover, and etc. Because
nutrition, sleep, for sure, it's all together.
That's how you build up. Okay, Yair, I'm very grateful for our conversation. Thank you for your questions that inspired me to talk all kind of stuff. And I hope it was helpful for whoever is watching. And thank you for everyone that is watching. And anything to that you want to share to finish about our conversation?
Well, first, again, thank you very much for all your knowledge. I think people, if they have further questions, they should follow you on Instagram, and they could DM you over there. Is that great? Is that a good place to reach you?
Yes.
Perfect. So, again, like Milko said, he gave all of us great advice. Make it simple. If any of you have a question, follow Milko on Instagram. Then you could go over there, dive deep. And I'll be looking forward for next time.
I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.